Disability insurance claimant statements are required by just about every disability insurance carrier on either a monthly basis, a bi-monthly, 6 times a year, or yearly. It just depends on what type of claim you have and how long you've been on claim. But what I want to talk about today with attorney Stephen Jessup is why are the disability carriers asking for these claimant statements? And let's also talk a little bit about what types of things that a claimant needs to look out for in these disability claimant statements.
Well, I think first and foremost, the reason why they're requesting them is they want to hear from you in your own words as to why you can't work, what you are doing, what your restrictions and limitations are. So they're trying to get to know you better. A more ulterior motive with that would be the fact that a lot of times informs people say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do X, Y, or Z, whatever the case may be. Then if the insurance company does video surveillance at a later point, they're going to take what you've represented to them as to what you're able to do and see if what they catch independently, if those things start to, if they coincide. So if there's any indiscretion or indiscrepancies in those forms, the carrier could use it against you as a way to try to deny the claim.
Right. So in every single disability insurance claimant form, I always tell my clients that whenever you fill that form out, you have to assume that the disability insurance company knows exactly what you're doing and what you've been doing. So don't think that you're going to, put something down and they're not going to figure out that actually, yeah, you do ride your bike or you do go to the gym. If you do, it's fine. Just don't tell them that you don't do something and then they see you doing it, because that's going to be a big problem. What about the fact that a lot of these claimant statements give you like 1 or 2 lines to put down the information in terms of how you're spending your days, or for example, what things can you not do from your job?
Well, I think the big thing and the hardest is you'll see people when we get claim files, whatever the case may be, that actually try to squish it all in those 2 lines as opposed to writing an addendum or attachment where you explain more. I think you have to be careful being overly verbose or too in depth as to what's going on because they will use it against you. But you also don't want to, because they've given you only 2 lines, overlook important parts of your claim or your condition in an effort just to get it in those 2 lines.
Right, and I know that we fill out hundreds of claim forms every month on behalf of our clients and are always reviewing them, but one of the big problems, and I think the traps that a lot of claimants fall into, is that their medical records don't match the restrictions and limitations that the claimant is telling the company about things that they can't do. So I know when we're handling claims, we like to always get the medical records and make sure there's a correlation between what the claimant's telling the disability company and what the medical records are saying. So from another angle, when you tell the disability company about the doctors you're seeing and what the doctors are writing, what do you usually tell clients about what they should tell their doctors when they go to see them?
Well, I think the big thing is going to be also to make sure that the doctor understands any problems you are having. Sometimes the doctors too, when they come in, they treat you, their forms or whatever, they're just checking boxes. And how many times do you see that physical exam was unremarkable, but then they go into all the problems the person has? So a lot of times an insurance company could just as easily focus on that. So it's important that the doctor is documenting it as to what the person is telling them. Or as the case may be, and it happens rarely, that the person isn't necessarily even following their doctor's orders, and sometimes the insurance company will use that against you. If a doctor is recommending certain restrictions and limitations and you're ignoring those, I have seen cases where the insurance company will use that against you as well, saying you're not receiving the appropriate care to treat with.
I think if you have a disability claim and you're dealing with the monthly claimant statements, or however often your disability company is requesting them, you need to be very strategic in how you fill out these claim forms. Like I said earlier, we help people every month fill these out, and we offer an ongoing, very affordable service to represent you with the monthly claim handling, which also involves you never having to speak to the disability carrier because they can only communicate with our office and they can't call you. So that takes a lot of pressure off of you as a claimant, because we will review your medical records, talk to your claimant, and the only time that you'll need something is if the disability company asks us for it, then we're going to ask you for it. So feel free to give us a call at any time. We always offer a free consultation, and we look forward to the opportunity to help you with your disability claim.